Welcome back. A lot of people celebrating the nice warm weather, but it does bring problems and consequences.
Yes, this is something that kind of anticipated while we were celebrating the big snowpack.
Yeah.
You know that's got to melt at some time, and now we are starting to see the effects of that record flooding in parts of north central Washington. Here's some pictures to share with you of the flooding in the Okanagan area. This is from Brock Hires of the OMAC Chronicle. Thank you, Brock. And this first shot is actually of the Similkameen River flooding the fields near Nighthawk, which is just northwest of Oroville. You can see here's the irrigation system. We don't need that for a little while. Meanwhile, here's a flooded outbuilding. This is along County Highway 7, which is just southwest of Tonasket. And finally, good duck weather. This is a picnic bench. You can probably see the seats submerged there. This is in Deep Bay Park, which is in Oroville. Again, thanks to Brock Hires of the OMAC Chronicle for these photos. Here are the flood warnings that are currently in effect around the region. Okanagan, the Similkameen in Okanagan County, throughout North Idaho, we have warnings. The Kettle River at Ferry County is currently already, well, they're all above flood stage, but at historic proportions, breaking records set back in the 1940s. And that is one of the spots where we're seeing the most intense flooding. We also have area flood warnings for all of these locations in Okanagan County. And through the whole winter, while we were celebrating and looking at the snowpack, the beefiest, most impressive snowpack totals were for that Okanagan River Basin. And here's our snow cover today, and still plenty of snow, as you can see. But look at some of these locations feeding that Okanagan River in that region. We still have a ton of snow in Canada, and for that matter, on some of the mountains down in Washington as well. So we are still melting some snow and going to be watching those rivers, creeks, and streams. If they're not flooding, they are at bank full across the entire region. A little bit cooler today, tomorrow. That is helping somewhat. The rain's not that great, but the area of low pressure that is moving off to the south and east is going to be taking the rain along with it. Just a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. But then high pressure begins building in, and that is going to kick off a very impressive warming trend, sending us up into the 80s as we get into next week. Here's a look at our national satellite and radar. We have some cooler air making its way down across the region and the nation, and that is producing some severe weather today. Severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of Nebraska. Here we can see at the very end of the loop some feisty thunderstorms there. High temperatures today, 55 in Minot. There's that cool air moving into the warm air in place. It was 90 today in Denver, 60s for Seattle, Portland, and Boise, 106 today in Phoenix, 83 in Washington, D.C., and 64 in New York. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. A slight chance of showers tomorrow, temperatures around average, and then we are warming up. 76 on Saturday, 80 on Mother's Day. Nadine?
All right, thank you, Kris.